Again? Who could be doing this? I decided to install security cameras. And there, the footage captured a surprising person. Inside the garbage bag, there was something I never expected. My name is Samantha, a 32 years old office worker. Currently, I'm in a relationship with a man named Joel. We met through work. Joel used to come to the company I worked for frequently for business purposes. He was friendly and sociable, so he often talked to not only the assigned staff, but also other employees, including me. He even invited me and my colleagues to a drinking party. Through that drinking party, I exchanged contact information with him. He was very interesting, and even before we started dating, we exchanged messages almost every day. After that, we started going out for drinks together. He had a cheerful and lively personality, but when we were alone, he would become a bit more calm, and I found myself more and more attracted to him. And one day, he confessed his feelings to me.
I want to date you with marriage in mind.
I was extremely happy to hear that. The fact that he mentioned marriage as a consideration showed that he was serious about me. Of course, the answer was yes, and we started dating. Our relationship with Joel began, and it was a lot of fun. He knew various dating spots and came up with different date plans for me. Thanks to him, I was able to have many enjoyable experiences and discover new things even in places I thought I already knew. We continued our relationship smoothly from then on. Around 2 years into our relationship, Joel proposed to me one day.
I want to be with you every day for the rest of my life, Samantha. So, will you marry me?
Yes, I will. Thank you. And so, we decided to get married. I went with him to his parents' house. Nice to meet you. I'm Samantha.
Hi. Good to finally meet you, Samantha.
His mother seemed like a kind person. His father had already passed away due to illness a few years ago.
What made you like Joel?
She asked me that question. I think it's because he's kind and funny.
Yes, indeed. Joel is good at talking, isn't he? Just like a salesman, I suppose.
Oh yes, I can see that. He's doing a job that suits him well.
What with you too? You don't have to praise me like that.
The introduction went smoothly and was quite enjoyable. It seemed like I wouldn't have to worry much about issues with my mother-in-law after marrying Joel. Also, I didn't know this before, but my house and Joel's parents' house were very close to each other. If I had known it was this close, I would have come to visit earlier.
Sorry about that. But if I had known that my girlfriend's parents' house was nearby, it would have made me a bit more conscious. Like, I should go and greet them, you know?
Well, you have a point.
I thought we could wait until we got married for things like that. That's why I brought it up now.
I see.
But once we are married, we can easily visit my mom whenever we want. That's a good thing, right?
Yes, you're right. His mother was listening to our conversation with wide eyes.
When you get married, won't you rent a new place? Are you going to live in Samantha's apartment together?
Samantha's house is actually an inherited property from her late grandparents.
Oh, I see. Actually, my parents passed away in an accident, and I was taken in by my grandparents and raised by them since I was young. Both of my grandparents have also passed away, so now I live alone in that spacious house. We've been discussing living together there once we are married.
I see. I didn't know that. It's unfortunate about your parents. If you two have talked it over and made that decision, then it's fine. Congratulations on your marriage, Samantha and Joel.
Thank you, Mom.
Samantha, if you ever need anything, feel free to come to me.
Thank you very much. His mother seemed really kind, and I was relieved. As I thought that, I went home with Joe. Most of his belongings had already been moved, and it felt like he was already halfway living in my house. Your mom seems like a really kind person. I'm glad.
You think so? Well, I don't consider myself that kind, to be honest.
Really? I think you are incredibly kind.
You saying that makes you the kind one, Sam?
Oh, really? We laughed while complimenting each other, with the belief that we could have a happy married life together. We had our wedding ceremony. We hadn't shared the fact that Joe and I were dating with our colleagues at work. So when they heard about our marriage, they were surprised. But they said we looked good together and congratulated us. Many people attended our wedding. I think it was wonderful that we were able to have a happy wedding ceremony. After that, we started our newlywed life. Since we were practically living together already, there wasn't much change in our daily life. However, being newlywed had a mysterious power that made everything feel fresh and exciting. Even after marriage, I continued working, and we both had jobs. My husband wasn't good at household chores, especially cooking. So I took charge of cooking, and he helped with other chores like cleaning and laundry. At first, he was still getting used to it, but he tried his best with cleaning. It's really appreciated to have a husband who cooperates with household chores. In this way, we smoothly enjoyed our newlywed life, and I felt happy every day. But less than a year of marriage, my husband started going on business trips more frequently.
I will be going on a business trip for about a week.
Huh? Again? You've been going on a lot of trips lately.
Well, they seem to have high expectations of me. They've entrusted me with some important tasks.
I see. Well, you will have to do your best then.
Yeah, sorry for leaving the house again.
It's okay. Take care, alright? Although I said those words, I felt a bit lonely. We're still newlyweds, and yet, they keep increasing the number of business trips. What is the company thinking? I almost wanted to complain, but work is work. Besides, we might have children in the future, so it's important to have savings. So it's crucial for my husband to achieve results in his work. A few months later, my husband was given another long-term assignment.
They want me to go on a business trip for about 3 months this time.
Huh? 3 months?
They want me to go and provide support from headquarters as they set up a new branch.
That's a really important job.
Yeah, they have high expectations of me. But 3 months will be tough. I'm sorry, Samantha.
It's okay. But you will have weekends off, right? Can you come back on weekends?
I'm not sure. It's in Nevada, so there are several layovers during the flight, and it might be difficult to come back every weekend.
I see. Then let's video call each other.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Afterwards, my husband went on a long-term business trip. I felt a bit lonely living alone. But then, a certain problem arose. Huh? What is this? When I returned home from work as usual, there were a large number of garbage bags placed in front of the entrance. I had no idea what was going on, but I couldn't just leave the garbage like that. Although it was creepy, I gathered them all and disposed of them at the garbage station. Seriously, who could be doing this? As I was thinking that, on another day, a large amount of garbage was again dumped in front of my house. Huh? Again? Ooh, what is going on? This is clearly some form of harassment, but I didn't know the purpose or the reason behind it. I considered reporting it to the police, but it could also be someone I know or neighbor. Thinking that way, I decided to investigate on my own. I decided to install security cameras. And there, to my surprise, I saw the person responsible. It turned out that it was my mother-in-law who was dumping the large amount of garbage bags. Why would my mother-in-law do such a thing? From then on, the garbage was repeatedly dumped in the same manner, and it was always my mother-in-law. Why would she do something like this? I couldn't understand why my mother-in-law would engage in such harassment. I grabbed the garbage bags and immediately headed towards my mother-in-law. "Oh, Samantha, what's the matter?" What exactly is going on? Why are you dumping this garbage in front of my house?" "Well, it's for the purpose of harassing you." To my surprise, my mother-in-law boldly admitted to it. "Harassment? That's terrible." "Oh, stop being so annoying. I've never liked you from the start." "What do you mean you've never liked me? Have I done something to inconvenience or offend you? Why do I have to hear such things?" As I trembled with anger, my mother-in-law handed something to me. It was the screen of her smartphone. Huh? On the screen, there was a message that said, "Look inside the garbage bags." I was puzzled as I opened the garbage bags, and inside the bags, there was something I never expected to find. "This is..." "Samantha, that's enough. If you have time to bother me, go home." I followed her instructions and immediately returned home. Inside the garbage bags I saw, there were photos of my husband. My husband was having an affair. What my mother-in-law had put in the bag were evidence photos and copies of documents related to the affair. And she did all of that to make me aware of it. But why would she choose such a method? It bothered me, but I couldn't find an answer no matter how much I thought about it. First and foremost, I needed to prepare for a divorce from my husband. I immediately consulted a lawyer's office. The lawyer assured me that with this much evidence, there shouldn't be any problems. That gave me some temporary relief. Then, I received a sudden call from my husband. "Hello, Joel. What's up?" While surprised that he was calling me instead, I answered the phone.
"Samantha, are you okay? I was just wondering if there was any conflict with my mother."
I couldn't believe my ears. "Why?"
Well, as long as there's nothing, it's fine."
I stormed into my mother-in-law's house and confronted her, but I didn't tell my husband about it. Yet, why would he make such a phone call? Could it be related to my mother-in-law's roundabout ways of doing things? If she wanted to inform me about her son's affair, she could have directly told me. I had a hunch that something was going on, so I came up with a plan. Like my mother-in-law, I placed a garbage bag in front of my in-laws' house. I put a note inside, specifying that I wanted to meet and talk directly, along with the location and date. I hoped that my mother-in-law would come. With that in mind, I waited at the cafe I had designated. And then, my mother-in-law appeared. "Samantha, you!" I had a feeling that something was going on. There are things that we can't talk about in each other's houses, right? Like being secretly watched by Joe. As I said that, my mother-in-law's face turned pale. "Please don't worry. Thanks to that, I've been able to proceed with preparations for divorcing him. So now, I want to help you." As I said that, my mother-in-law burst into tears. "I'm sorry, Samantha. I've been threatened by that kid." When I heard the details, I was shocked. Apparently, my mother-in-law found out about the affair before I did. My mother-in-law tried to warn him, but he didn't listen. And then, He installed listening devices in both my in-laws' house and my house, and even took away her phone. I felt a chill run down my spine upon hearing that. There were listening devices in my house too?
Yes, that's what he said.
That's awful. My mother-in-law said she pleaded with him to stop doing such things, but he didn't listen. My husband's true intention seems to be to take away the house I inherited. And he threatened my mother-in-law, saying he would harm me if she got in his way. So my mother-in-law was trying to make me aware of the danger through those acts of harassment. I can't believe Joe would do such a thing.
It seems that he plans to take ownership of the house and then kick you out to live with another woman.
What?
That's so heartless.
I was filled with anger. Come to think of it, my husband had been expressing his desire to change the house ownership to his name. I found the paperwork and procedures troublesome, so I refused. But now, I understand why he wanted it. Let's consult the police immediately. When I said that, my mother-in-law hesitated for a moment, and then nodded slightly. We went to the police station and explained the presence of listening devices and the content my mother-in-law was told by my husband. Arresting him would be difficult given the current situation, but I was able to obtain the restraining order against him once the divorce was finalized. After that, I decided to confront my husband with the information I had gathered. Joel, can we have a video call right now? I sent a message to my husband, who claimed to be on a business trip during a certain holiday. But as expected, he said he couldn't do a video call. Why? It's a day off, so you can spare a little time, right?
Sorry, I'm meeting someone related to work, so I can't do it.
I messaged my husband, pretending to be oblivious. So, I saw you sitting at Divine Cafe with a woman I don't know? Immediately, my husband called me.
Samantha, what are you talking about?
He sounded flustered, standing up and looking around anxiously. I sent him a photo. It was a picture of my husband happily chatting with his affair partner at the cafe. See? I'm telling you that I saw you guys. I was surprised when I saw you there by chance while I was going shopping. I mean, you were supposed to be on a business trip to Nevada, but here you are in the neighboring town with an unknown woman. Hey Joel, this is an affair, right?
Well, that's...
My husband was clearly disturbed. It was just a coincidence that I found out, but it's solid evidence, so there's no escaping from it. My husband let out an almost inaudible voice. Let's prepare a lawyer and proceed with the divorce immediately.
Wait, just wait a minute.
Despite my husband pleading with me, I hung up the phone without paying attention to him. I pretended it was a coincidence, but this was all part of my plan. I had found out from my mother-in-law's investigation that my husband was at his affair partner's house. So I waited near the affair partner's house for them to leave, and discreetly followed their car. My husband quickly returned home and came to apologize to me.
I'm sorry. I was momentarily possessed. I won't do it again. Please forgive me.
My husband apologized as he came forward. There's no way I can forgive you. You were pretending to be on a business trip while living at your affair partner's place, right? I can't continue our marriage with such a liar. Let's get a divorce. As my determination became clear, my husband slumped down weakly on the spot. Shortly after that, I divorced him. Of course, I made sure to claim substantial compensation from my ex-husband and his affair partner. By the way, my ex-husband never found out that my mother-in-law had been helping me. I decided to sell the house I inherited from my grandparents. My mother-in-law also sold her house and moved without saying anything to her son. She also canceled her phone contract, so got a new one. It seems my ex-husband planned to seek cooperation from my mother-in-law in paying the compensation. But when he realized she had already moved, and he became quite panicked. He contacted me multiple times, desperately begging for forgiveness. However, I made sure to secure a promise from him to pay the compensation, even if it was in installments. If there was any delay in payment, I made arrangements to have his salary garnished. It appears my ex-husband was eventually abandoned by his affair partner. In the end, he not only failed to acquire the house, but also faced the decision to pay compensation. Currently, he lives a lonely life, shuttling between work and a cheap apartment, with most of his salary dedicated to paying the compensation. On the other hand, I made a bold decision and purchased a condominium. Since the inherited house from my grandparents was in good condition, I was able to sell it at a higher price than I expected. I plan to focus on my work and increase my own income, aiming to build my assets and secure a comfortable future. I won't rush into another romantic relationship for a while, and instead, take my time to find the next partner without any pressure.
My wife and I are moving into this family home. Anyone who doesn't belong here, get out now. When my husband said that, I couldn't help but burst into laughter. Don't you guys know? My name is Amber. I'm a 27-year-old marketing executive. I've been working for the same company for 5 years since I graduated. I've been given a lot of responsibility now and lead a busy life. Every day is challenging, but I feel a sense of fulfillment. I have another reason to strive harder. That is my boyfriend Ted. He's also my colleague who works at the same office as me and is 1 year my senior. When I joined the company, he became my mentor, and that's how we started to get closer. At first, it was just a typical colleague relationship. Around the time I got used to my work, he started to show signs of being interested in me as a woman and began making advances. Well, maybe he was waiting for me to become independent. The truth is, I was secretly attracted to him. So I was thrilled when he confessed his feelings to me. By the time I turned 25, in my third year as a career woman, we officially started dating. We kept our relationship a secret from our colleagues. I was happy to see each other every day at work, and it was fun to go on dates after work or on weekends. It was delightful to have a good balance of work and private life. Our relationship was smooth sailing. Both of us were good at separating work and personal life, and we fulfilled our work responsibilities diligently. When both of us had a lot of work, we would stay late together and divide the tasks. I think we had a very good relationship in that sense. Then one day, someone at work found out that we were dating. It happened when we were walking together in the city on Valentine's Day. One of our coworkers saw us holding hands. Well, even without that, it wouldn't be surprising for people to assume we were dating since it was such a day. Although they teased us at first, everyone was supportive of us, saying we were a well-suited couple. It also helped that we both worked hard at our jobs without mixing our personal or professional lives. Since we produced good results, our superiors didn't say anything special about it. Thanks to that, we were able to continue our relationship smoothly. And then, after 2 years of dating, he finally proposed to me. No matter how I envision my future, I always see you by my side. So I want you to walk through life with me. Will you marry me? Yes. I was overjoyed by his wonderful proposal so much, so that I almost fainted with happiness. I spent some time gazing at the engagement ring and couldn't stop smiling. We immediately went to meet each other's parents. First, we headed to his parents' house. Very nice to meet you. I'm Amber. Wow, you're beautiful. That's very lucky. Oh, you're too nice. No, you don't have to be modest. That's right. That's really lucky. Hey, you guys are putting me down too much, don't you think? His parents were very friendly, kind and funny. Their smiles never phased, and we had a pleasant time from start to finish. Your parents are so nice. I'm glad to hear you say so. It's my turn now, isn't it? I'm nervous to meet your father. He's also nice, so you don't need to be nervous. Yeah, but I still do, you know. Will he approve of our marriage? I've already decided to marry you, so it doesn't matter if he does or doesn't. Besides, he's not the kind of person who would interfere with his daughter's marriage based on his own opinion. Well, that's good to hear. He seemed a little relieved, but still quite nervous. Then, a few days later, the day came for us to visit my parents. Did you sleep last night? I know you're teasing me, right? I couldn't sleep much. I knew it. While having that conversation, we walked a few minutes from the nearest station to my parents' house. Welcome, guys. My mom greeted us at the front. It's nice to meet you. I'm Ted, the fiancé of Amber. Oh dear, you seem so nervous. Yeah, he is. When my mom and I started laughing, he joined in and seemed to ease his tension a little. As we headed to the living room, my dad was waiting for us. Ted introduced himself politely, just as nervous as before. My dad welcomed him with a genuine smile. Nice meeting you too. I'm Neil. Seeing him return the greeting warmly, Ted seemed to relax a bit. From there, we carried out our conversations cheerfully. Ted, please take good care of our daughter. Yes, of course I will. They shook hands firmly. I watched them with a smile, feeling delighted. Afterward, we proceeded with the preparations for the wedding. During that time, we had dinner with both families. There was a cheerful exchange between the parents from both sides. Amidst that, there was another person from my side of the family who was meeting Ted and his parents for the first time. Hi, I'm Sarah. Nice to finally meet you. You're a pretty good-looking guy. That was how my sister introduced herself to Ted. She's 5 years younger than me and was a 22-year-old college student then. Since she was still in the student mindset, she tended to be a little hyped up. Ted had great people skills, so he easily clicked with her energy. Really? It's the first time someone said that to me. You're good with flattery. You're being too modest. You seem very nice, Ted. You found a great guy, Amber. I know. She had an outgoing personality and a light-hearted attitude. I thought she would have gotten along well with someone like Ted, who was flexible. Since he was an only child and had no siblings, I wanted him to enjoy having a sister too. The dinner with the two families went without a hitch and ended pleasantly. A few months later, Ted and I held our wedding. We had many discussions and put a lot of effort into the planning, so we were quite pleased that it turned out exactly as we had hoped. Our colleagues and friends seemed genuinely happy for us, which made us feel truly blessed. Right after the wedding, we went on our honeymoon. And upon our return, we started our newlywed life. I was exalted to live with my beloved husband. Every morning when I woke up, he was by my side, and he was there when I went to sleep as well. Moreover, since we worked at the same company, we commuted together. It was like a dream to be with him all the time. As we were both busy, we shared the household chores. He liked cooking and was better than me. Even with simple dishes like mac and cheese or grilled salmon, he added a little extra touch, making them incredibly delicious. I felt fortunate to have a husband who was not only an excellent cook but also brought me joy. We collaborated and handled chores while fulfilling our respective jobs. Our colleagues praised us as an admirable couple. When we were not working, we mainly indulged in our shared hobby of watching movies. We loved foreign films and enjoyed 2 or 3 a day. We watched a considerable number of movies throughout the year. What shall we watch next weekend? I often browse movie review websites during my lunch break. Our married life was filled with simple happiness. However, around 3 years into our marriage, something happened that changed everything. It was on a weekend. When the doorbell rang, I thought it was a delivery, but the person standing outside the door was someone unexpected. It's been a long time, Amber. Sarah, why are you suddenly here? Can you let me stay here tonight? Huh? She showed up out of the blue. Not only that, she was asking to stay the night. I mean, it's a bit too sudden, don't you think? Please, I have nowhere else to go. What do you mean? I couldn't understand the meaning behind her words. And just then, Ted emerged from the living room. What's going on? Oh, Sarah, long time no see. Hey, Ted. Why are you guys talking at the door? Come inside. He then took her luggage and led her into the living room. You're so kind. I was hoping to end the conversation at the entrance. I was certain that if she came inside, she would have definitely stayed the night. Sarah, tell me the rest of what you were saying just now. What do you mean you have nowhere else to go? After graduating from university, she got a job and started living on her own. She should have had a place to go back to. I couldn't afford to pay the rent. How come? What about your job? It didn't work out, so I quit. You had finally landed a job after struggling, and it lasted for 3 years, right? You could have continued for a bit longer. Oh, I quit that job a long time ago. I was working part-time. Hold on. How long did you stay at your full-time job? Until a bit before Thanksgiving. That's only about a month. Why didn't you tell me something so important? Don't get upset like that, will you? When she went to our parents first and told them everything, she was fiercely scolded by Dad, then kicked out. Of course he'll be angry. How selfish are you? Okay, let's just calm down. She must have been going through a lot and made that choice. It's unfair to just get angry at her. Ted tried to take a neutral position, but that would have only made her take advantage. You're so cool. No one has ever stood up for me. Thanks. Well, it's not like... Please, Dad, let me stay here tonight. She pleaded him with Bambi eyes. Then, without hesitation, he said, Sure, why not? All I could do was exhale deeply in resignation. Yay, thank you. Exhilarated, She went to put her luggage in the guest room without asking. Hon, you're spoiling her. You think so? But we're siblings, so we have to help each other. He didn't seem to grasp my concerns. I knew she would have never wanted to leave our place. My intuition was right, and she stayed for a while. You're an amazing cook, Ted. Really? Thank you. Ted never asked her to leave, and they always seemed to enjoy their meals together. Even when I told her to leave soon, she wouldn't listen. When I spoke to Ted about it, he said it was lively and fun. I had no choice but to talk to my parents. They were so mad that they immediately came to our house. Sarah was taken aback by their sudden visit. Dad gave her a harsh scolding, which made her finally reflect on her actions. She decided to leave soon, and at last I was going to be free from her. But then came the drama. I had just returned home from a 3-day business trip. When I entered the house, Sarah's jackets were gone from the closet. There was no luggage in the guest room either. I thought she must have left while I was away. I went to the dining room and found a letter on the table. I expected it to be from her. I picked it up and was absolutely stunned when I read the contents. I'm sorry, Amber. Sarah's leaving, so I decided to go with her. You've got to be kidding me. I couldn't help but let out a small cry. I rushed to Ted's closet only to find it empty. My sister and my husband had eloped together. I called and messaged both of them several times to no avail. I crumbled down to the floor. They had been having an affair under my roof. He had chosen Sarah over me. All of those were like a kick in my gut, and I didn't think I could recover from the immense pain. I called my parents and asked them to come over right away, and also sought advice from the police. However, I was told that I couldn't file a missing persons report, and I lost hope of locating them. I found out that Ted had resigned from his job while I was on a business trip. And just like that, he disappeared from the office. Soon after, I received the divorce papers in the mail. I desperately tried to find them, but it seemed impossible. I reluctantly signed the papers and submitted them, pretending to be a complete stranger to my husband. I hoped that I'd never have to go through such a painful experience again. People around me sympathized with me, understanding how cruel Ted had been. Work became the only way to distract myself from the pain. I focused solely on my work from then on. 10 years passed in the blink of an eye. I was still working as hard as ever. Then one day, unexpected visitors showed up at my house. Hi, Amber. We're back. We had nowhere else to go, so we came here. Unbelievably, Ted and Sarah appeared after 10 years. I wondered what their intentions were. The house they came to was my parents'. They shamelessly showed up without a trace of embarrassment. I took a deep breath. It's pointless for you to have come. They refused to listen to me and tried to rely on my parents. God will forgive us after 10 years, don't you think? Ted's parents are still mad, so we couldn't go to their house. But my parents will be different. We'll move into this house. Anyone who doesn't belong here, get out now. When Ted said that, I couldn't help but burst into laughter. Don't you guys know? Mom and Dad have already retired to the countryside. So this house is in my name now. No way! It's not fair that you live here all by yourself. Who said I'm alone? You're not? Just then, my current husband emerged from the living room. Hey guys, I'm her husband. Just to let you know, I'm a police officer. Police? Not only surprised by the unexpected presence of my husband, but they were flustered upon learning about his profession. I'm happy to see you doing well after all this time. Right, I'm relieved to see you well. Saying that, the two of them started backing away. Stop. If you guys want to live here, you can. Really? You're so sweet. It appeared that their simple-minded nature hadn't changed as they paused and delighted in my words. But only if you pay for the upcoming full renovation. That's impossible, obviously. Don't give us a false hope. You two had an affair, left the house on your own, and now you're back, yet you dare to say such a presumptuous things? I have suffered a lot because of your betrayal. I was that bitterness that fueled my determination, and now I'll become the VP at the headquarters. Seriously, you've risen that high? I kept working hard after you were gone. What about you guys? You quit your jobs, eloped, and now you're back. It's because you don't have any money, isn't it? Well, when confronted with the truth, they both hung their heads looking down. After they eloped, they worked part-time to ends meet, but it was getting insufficient. Unable to pay the rent, they were finally evicted from the apartment. I'll hook you up with a job if you want. Are you mocking us again? Enough already. Well then, there's a living job available, but when I mentioned it, they eagerly took the bait. Really? Come on, tell us more. It appeared they were truly desperate. Alright, let me contact them. I made a phone call right away. They want you guys to come now. I'll drive, so let's go. Yes. My husband and I got into the car and took them to the location. It was a farmhouse where my parents and uncle lived. Could this be... Yep, Sarah. What are you doing showing your face here now? And you, I won't forgive you for betraying Amber. When we arrived, Dad approached the two of them in a rage. They cowered in terror in his menacing look. My husband and I removed their belongings from the trunk and got back inside the car. What are you doing, Amber? Where are you going? We have no business here, so we are going home. Good luck with the farm work. Wait. We left them behind. They are now disciplined by my parents and uncle, enduring daily lectures and forced to do farm work. I hear they are mentally and physically exhausted, with lifeless expressions on their faces. I truly think it serves them right. On the other hand, I am happily living with my husband. I intend to continue working through life with my reliable partner.